Welcome back. Friday Feed Time. Al Abear live with us in studio. You got to go to New Iberia and do some pretty cool things that amounted to Friday Feed and a little preview.
Yes, Marcel Bienvenu. She is sort of a legend when it comes to cooking and cookbooks. And she shared the morning with us. She's going to be doing a cookbook forum at Books Along the Tisch Literary Festival. And so we talked about her cookbooks with her. So let's take a look. Hey, we are back, and we are in Chef Alex Patu's kitchen with Marcel Bienvenu, cookbook author, chef. You've done it all, Marcel, and you've got so many cookbooks. Let's talk a little bit about what cookbook do people need to know about? What's the latest?
Well, this one, the Who's Your Mama book, is probably the most...
It's iconic.
Yeah, but it's posted in the 80s. And I started writing a column for the Times-Picayune in '84 on cooking Creole. And after about a couple of years, my mother said, you sure get a lot of requests for recipes that were in the paper. That's before you could find them on the internet.
Right.
So she said, we could just do a cookbook. Well, somebody else called and they said, yeah, we'll back you. And it still sells. So I guess it was a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. And of course, I think the title is just so catchy, because I remember being young and going out with someone and mama, who's their mama, who's their daddy, you know, are they Catholic, you know, and can they make a roux? Those are like critical questions you want to ask. I love the pecan book, and you said you've got these on sale at the Pie Bar.
At the Pie Bar in New Iberia. This was a fun book to do, and I said, you know, there's not enough pecan recipes to use in a book, but we did it.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's really, we have some entrees, we have desserts, we have soup. And so it's a really fun pecan book.
And you know, you and I were talking a little bit earlier about you know, how simple the étouffée was, and it was just, you know, amazingly good. And then you know, bread pudding, things like that are a lot simpler, but just packed with flavor. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, we have very, very simple ingredients, humble ingredients is what I call it. You know, you made bread pudding from leftover bread. You had milk, you had eggs, you had butter, you had sugar. So it was all things within what people had. My father used to call the Cajun cooking the cuisine of making do, whatever you have. So yeah, everything's pretty simple.
And you know, that's a great way to describe it, because that's kind of how it was. I remember someone was telling me the story of sweet dough pies. Yeah. The Cajuns had a cow for milk, they had chickens for eggs, flour and sugar were very cheap, and you could just put all that together and you had a great dessert. Yeah. You know?
We didn't have anything exotic. I remember every once in a while having coconut, like a coconut cake, and I thought that was so you know, wonderful, because we never had it on a daily basis.
I know. Yeah. Cajuns are great. Marcel, thanks so much. We appreciate you being on our show, participating in Friday Feed today. Buy the cookbooks. I'm telling you, this is a great one. Hey, we're going to go back to you in the studio.